Good evening, everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Jared, and this is my channel, Mazda B3K. In this 5-minute fix episode, we are going to remove and replace the PCV valve on my 2001 Ford F250. Without further ado, let's get started. So the PCV essentially takes gas and recirculates it to be burned again for emissions stuff. And they're not very expensive. What happens with them is two things. Either they will clog up and then you can clean them and they'll be okay, or the spring inside of them, since they're just a check valve basically, the spring wears out and then they don't do their job, and then you get a lot of positive pressure out of the crankcase, which leads to blow-by, and then blow-by leads to oil fouling of the cylinders and some other issues. So today I swung by the local parts store and I picked up a PCV valve. This is Duralast, probably made by Felpro, PCV 1183DL, Delta Lima. So that's the goods, and the part itself is located there. It plugs into the valve cover on the passenger side. So we'll go ahead and we're going to wrench that out and we'll just swap it. We'll take a look at the old one, give it a shake, see what it sounds like, see if it was potentially bad or not. I'm leaning towards it probably is. The guy I got this from, he did some maintenance, but he wasn't super stringent about it. So stuff like this, I'm sure, went to the wayside until it caused a problem. Alright, I managed to get some life back out of my tripod again, so got you on tripod. So just pop it out, and when you're over here, also take a look. There's going to be a grommet that fits in to keep, so you actually have an airtight seal. If you want to take a look at that, give it a squish, see how it feels. This one looks okay, so I'm going to leave that be. And then we need to work Is that a spark plug boot? That's a spark plug boot. That is super impressive. Okay. Spark plug boots. Alright, so we got it off. Better view here. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, that's ingenious. But that is straight up a spark plug boot that they shoved one end on the valve and then the other end onto the piping. That's okay. So let's give her a shake. So it doesn't sound like it's clogged, but the spring, see, this is the thing inside, you can see. Well, you probably, see if I can tilt it. See how it's down? It falls back. So it doesn't sound broken, but the spring could still be worn out. So let me see if I can bring you in. Well, yeah. What I just found out, I was taking a closer look what was going on. If you look there, that is a plastic hard line all the way through. That's not just like a little barb or an extension. So now I understand why they had the spark plug boot there, because the little plastic elbow that they always give you in the kit is not going to work. Someone put in something custom in the past. So that's why they went with this spark plug boot. It's a pretty elegant solution to the problem. So I think I'm going to reuse it. So I got to get it off and then I will swap it over. When you're working with a sticky hose on something, if you can get a little bit of silicone lube in there, that will make life so much easier. It helps to separate these rubber hoses without damaging them immensely. It makes it a lot easier. Alright, I've transferred over the boot. So go ahead and get this back on. So I'm going to pull this out a bit. wiggle it back on, get it all the way in, past the barb, and then drop it in, like so. And there you have it. Well, I can't really see with the cap, but there you go. So I worked it past the barb on the plastic hard line and then just dropped it in, and there you go. So hopefully that will give me some improvement on the idea that this old valve was worn out, and that'll help the engine run a little better. I'm chasing an issue where when the engine is, not when it's hot, not when it's cold, but when it's warm, it doesn't like to start. You got to crank on the starter for a good 5-10 seconds and then it'll fire. So chasing that one down. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this 5-minute fix. So with that said, please leave me some comments. I like to read them, I like to reply to them, and I like to learn from them. Please also like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the fun YouTube stuff. And remember, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. I'll see you guys next episode.